One of the lesser talked about experiences in autism is something called age dysphoria. For me and many other autistic people, it's this feeling of being out of sync with the age that you actually are. Sometimes I feel much younger than my peers, sometimes much older. It can make navigating life and your identity be very confusing. In this video, I want to explore what age dysphoria is in terms of autism and how it affects your everyday life. What is age dysphoria? This just means feeling older, younger, or simply different than your actual age. This can be in many different ways. It can be emotionally, developmentally, professionally. It's just feeling out of sync or disconnected with your actual age and how you feel inside. So I want to clarify, it's not a physical age thing. It's more emotional, social, and developmental. So why can this happen with people with ASD? I think a big reason for this happening is the idea of delayed milestones and advanced abilities. As autistic people, we can have many delayed milestones. I know that language is a very common one. It takes us a while to learn more about language and to become more proficient and to have those social skills. We can also have limited use of gestures. This can be a delayed milestone for us. Or things like crawling and walking. These can be delayed. So we have these delayed milestones which can put autistic children behind. In this sense, the neurotypical children are doing these things earlier and more proficient than autistic children. And then we have advanced abilities. We might be behind in terms of language or these milestones that I just mentioned, but we could be ahead in many other ways. We could read at a much higher level than our neurotypical peers. There's a plethora of things that autistic people can be more advanced at or have advanced capabilities. Artistic, musically, even things like sport, who knows, it's a whole spectrum, and our advanced abilities are very diverse and varied. Just social differences as well can also lead to this age dysphoria feeling, not being able to fit in with your peers of your own age. You lack the social communication of your peers, which makes you feel behind and left out. Or perhaps you're so interested and advanced in something else that your peers simply don't understand you. Emotions can also play a part in this. We can have very intense emotions as autistic people, and we can also have appearances on the opposite side of that. We can have autistic people that appear less emotional. So this emotional intensity can come across as more immature perhaps, or childlike. And on the other side, this could come across as not being involved emotionally, or perhaps coming across as cold. So this can also lead to more isolation, which can lead to the feeling of age dysphoria. I have more intense interests and more mature things that I enjoy that these people just do not understand. Which is the other thing, special interests. These can be seen as childlike or mature. My special interest has always been dinosaurs, and this was seen as, now that I'm older, it's seen as very childlike. At the time, it was fine, but then I was also interested in languages and learning languages, which at the time probably seemed advanced. But now, now that I'm older, it's just a regular thing. I want to speak about some personal experiences regarding age dysphoria. I have always struggled with work, sadly, always. I've never had a job for very long, and when I have had those jobs, I just really struggle through them, and the recovery takes so long that the job was just not even worth it in the end. I didn't really make money from it. I didn't progress my career in any way because my job ended so quickly. So professionally, I feel very behind. I'm nearly 40 and I haven't worked for years, and I have no financial stability. I don't really have a career. And this leaves me just feeling very behind in terms of my inner idea of maturity and where I should be in life. So professionally, just because of how I've struggled through my jobs due to my autism, I feel very behind in terms of a professional, in a professional way. And also just in terms of development, because if you have no financial stability, you can't really live life. I can't do anything. I can't do things that I would like to do. I can't travel, go places, see things, see people, experience things. I can't do any of that. So it leaves me feeling behind in terms of experiences as well, the experience of life. This also sort of bleeds into the social settings, because my peers are, in my eyes, a lot further ahead than I am. And they're speaking about things like, I got a promotion, I've never been promoted in my life, so I don't know what that's like. Or I've bought a house, they're doing all these really amazing things and reaching all these milestones. And I'm just here like, I have no money and I don't do anything, and I struggle to, get out of bed some days. So just emotionally and in terms of my peers, I feel very behind, which makes me feel sort of mentally immature sometimes. I feel a lot younger and I just feel behind in terms of where I should be for my age. Age dysphoria can impact your daily life too. I know that I've definitely had this feeling, but you just struggle to relate to people. It seems like people are older than you, even if it's just in terms of attitude and maturity, or you're interested in things that they aren't, and then you feel like you're ahead of them, which is a bit of a weird way to put it. But it just makes it very difficult to relate to people because you feel very different inside and you have a different view of yourself and your identity because of this age dysphoria. I've always felt very behind in that sense and just out of sync. There's lots of these young people that will come into the jobs and then they get promoted and they're moving up the ladder and they're doing really well, which is amazing for them and I'm super happy for them. But then none of that happens to me. So it's even more dysphoric, if that's a word, because even younger people can come in and then they start to really progress and climb up the ladder very quickly. And I'm just sitting there, being in my same job for the whole time that I've been there. I haven't been promoted, I haven't been given a raise. And there are people your age who are much, much further than you are. And it leaves you feeling very out of sync. At least that's my experience. I feel very disconnected with reality sometimes, and it can be genuinely frightening. I've had a few moments in recent years, even simple things like I'll be brushing my teeth and I'll look in the mirror and then I'm suddenly like, who is this like old bald grey dude looking back, and when did this happen? It's like it can be really scary. It's just this crazy disconnect where I'm like, has this happened? Is this really me? I'm not sure for the term for this, but it's something that I've seen autistic people speak about sometimes. It's like they have a different sense of time as well. They'll be doing something and they'll look at the clock and 4 or 5 hours has gone past and it's only felt like 10 minutes. So this also comes into play. I'm not sure how to word it, but I also have this where just my sense of time can be really warped sometimes. I'll think, oh, I went somewhere last week, and when I really think about it, it was like months ago. It wasn't a week at all. Or I'll be doing a task and I just absolutely lose track of time, and 4, 5, 6 hours could have gone by and I haven't eaten, I haven't moved, stretched, got up, hydrated in any way. It's just a different sense of time, and we can have this sort of time loss. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm sure some people can relate. So that also plays into this because I don't feel like I've been here for 37 years. Like in my mind, I'm like 20 something. I feel younger in my mind than I am. And then on the converse side, which makes it more confusing and it brings the age dysphoria about even more, my body, I feel like I'm 80. I've had so many health issues, sadly, and like I have a new pain every day, and this cracks and that breaks, and this I feel so much older physically. This can also just affect your self-image and identity. It just adds to that confusion because a lot of us are still on that journey of unmasking and trying to figure out who we are. And now you throw this age dysphoria into the mix, and it's like 3 or 4 extra layers of disconnect and confusion. I've definitely had this for a few years. I wake up and I cannot believe I'm this old, and like all these years have passed. It's really unnerving actually. I've thought about this a lot and I feel like there are quite a few things that I could do just to cope and reframe, and maybe this could be helpful for other people. Just accepting that we all develop at different speeds in our different ways, and there's no trajectory or standard timeline that we have to follow. It's different for everyone and it isn't linear. Sometimes we can have really, big spikes of development that feel amazing, and then we can just flatline. It's a roller coaster, it's rocky, and it's not a clear-cut thing. So just accepting that we're all on our own journeys and we all develop in different ways as humans do. I think trying to find and interact with communities of different ages can be really helpful as well. I feel like I've always been able to socialize better and I get along better with people older than me. It's always been that way. Even when I was a kid, I was like, I don't relate to these other kids at all. We are not into the same things. I cannot communicate with them. So I think trying to find communities of different ages to interact with and socialize with can be really beneficial in this way. Focusing on strengths instead of comparisons can also be very helpful. This is so much easier said than done, and I should take my own advice here because I'm really not good at this sort of thing. We have very intense interests and we can be real like experts in our niches, and we can be really advanced and incredible actually at many different things. And I think it's really important to highlight that to ourselves and appreciate that, practice the gratitude that can come with that. I do have some really good strengths, and I'm really grateful for that. As the old saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy. And we should probably add to that and say, not only is it the thief of joy, but it can invoke age dysphoria, apparently. So in closing, I think it's important to just normalize this experience. Many autistic people feel this, me included. So again, you're not alone. And this is not a completely isolated thing. This is something that many people can experience and go through. And like I said before, it can be like genuinely frightening. So we should try to normalize it and speak about it. It's always helpful to educate others, and it lessens the problem if we can share these things. That's been my experience with age dysphoria and autism. If you have felt out of sync with your age too, if you've experienced age dysphoria or you have any questions, please comment. I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Thank you for watching. If you're autistic, late diagnosed, or just curious, please consider subscribing for more content about being a late diagnosed autistic adult. Have a fantastic day. Thank you. Bye bye.